putting my apron on so I don't get my dress dirty, and then we are going to do a base coat on the top tier, and then the bottom tier is a scallop effect, so it doesn't need a base coat, whereas the top one, it's a white base and then it's got palette knife detail on it, so that one needs a white coat, and then that can go in the fridge set whilst we do the other one. So I've mixed everything already, trying to be slightly prepared. So also, sorry it's quite a bit late. One of my cake collections delayed by 45 minutes, and I didn't want to be in the middle of a live because it was a 2-tier cake, so I had to like carry it out to her and explain it all. So that's why the cake live is later, because my collections, and one of the morning ones as well, was 15 minutes late. So yeah, that's why we're a little bit delayed, but we'll still get it done on time, so that's good. Hi Susie, I need to bring up the chat on my iPad quickly so that I can see everything. Lovely. Right. Can you see that? Move you back a little bit. Please excuse my recycling. I haven't had a chance to go out yet. Right, so there we go. Right, so I've got the chat, so if you have any questions, ask them in there because I can now see it. Right, I'm just going to get the 4-inch out. So we have a 4-inch white chocolate and raspberry, and then the bigger tier, which is the bottom, which is a 6-inch, that is Biscoff, which I'm very excited for. So we're just going to do a plain white coat on this, so it's a little bit boring to start with. Then it will go in the fridge, and then I've got a bunch of coloured buttercream which will be smearing all over it, and it will look really nice. So I've got to do this first because you can't smear on unset buttercream, so I need to be able to actually smear on it without it damaging the base coat, so that's why it needs to be done first. Janet, hi, finally being able to watch you live, love your videos, thank you. Right, so same as usual, literally just piping bag and pipe it all the way to the top, and then we'll go in with a scraper and a palette knife. Also, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you won't know, but I had the most amount of cakes in one day yesterday. I had a 2-tier cake, and then I had 2 single-tier cakes, and they all had quite like complex designs, like a lot going on. They weren't simple, so they took a lot of time. And then I've also got my cake, so it's been very, very busy. I was hoping to make a cookie pie today, but unfortunately I'm not going to get time, so we will have to leave that off. I might make myself one in a few days, but I was going to make one for the party, but that is not happening. So none of these have drips or anything, so we need to make sure that the top is smooth. Usually if it has a drip, I would pipe up to here, and then I would leave this bit just crumb coated and then just smooth out the edges. but like I say, it needs to be covered, so that was literally the perfect amount of buttercream. Save that little bit. Right. And then, and it won't be staying on this board, it's currently on a bigger board, but I've got a little mini board which we'll flip it onto once it's set, and then it will go on top of the other cake. Hi Amy, so lovely to see you on YouTube. I've missed your videos. They're very informative and detailed, which I find really helpful as a new hobby baker. Thank you, that's really nice. We don't have to worry too much about it being perfect because we are going to smear all over it, but I'm just filling in any holes. agree, they're very informative. I've learned so much from your videos, Amy. Thank you for showing us your talent. Oh, thank you, that's really sweet. I've made a bunch of air bubbles at the top, so now I've got to go over and fill them. That's the thing, there's a fine line between like the perfect scraping. I always find that you get it like just off of perfect, and if you scrape it again, then you end up giving it air bubbles and then you have to start all over again, which is what I've just done. There we go. Right, so that's going to go back in the fridge and we're going to start on, that is so wobbly, yeah, so wobbly, that needs to go back in the fridge. I'm going to shove it in this one because mine's colder. Right, now wash my hands. That's chicken juice, man. Here you go. Oh my god. You got stuff in the bread box, man. I'm only. So, I need a piping bag for every single colour, and then we are going to pipe onto the cake in random order, basically. You'll get what I mean when we do it, and then you just smooth it out and it will just make a tie-dye blend effect. You can do it with a flat scraper, but we're going to be doing it with a scallop one, just because I really like the scallop ones. But that's how you get tie-dye. So, we haven't got very much white, but I'm hoping that I won't need much white because I've got a very yellowy colour, which is very similar. Don't need that. then we have this caramel colour, which I love. So the theme is like autumn. So I've gone for like oranges, a little bit of yellow, browns, and fingers crossed it goes the way I want. I've got flowers to go on it and they look so good. So I've based the colours around the flowers. And also I matched my dress to it as well. I'm wearing a brown dress because I thought it would go with the cake. This is the brownie tone that we've got. It's a very pale brown. I did think about doing a dark brown, but then I thought it might be a bit too dark. So this is what I've gone for. And the accent colour is gold. So I've got a gold little name, and then it will have gold sprinkles, opposed to silver, because again I thought it went with the warm tones. And then we have orange. I do want this to be a bit darker, but I've added colour into it and this seems to be as dark as it will go. I might add a little bit more, see whether it makes a difference. It's gone slightly darker, and I think it will go darker in the fridge as well. Sorry I missed the very beginning. What are the cakes for, and can I ask how many layers in the one you just put in the fridge? It looks very tall. All my cakes are 4 layers, apart from 8-inch cakes, which is 5, which is just because the tins that I use for 8-inch are shorter than all my other tins, so I have to do 5 layers of that. But all the others are 4. This is my birthday cake that we're currently doing. I did 4 other cakes this morning, one of which is still in the fridge, the others have gone, so that's why we were delayed on the live. I think that was everything that we said in the beginning. So we've done the base coat of the 4-inch, now we're doing the scallop of the 6-inch. So I need a scallop scraper. So we're going to be using this scraper, it's a Finch Bakery one. It's got the scallop edge, it's the medium scallop, not the small one. I don't know if they do a large, but yeah, it's like there is a bigger version, not necessarily from Finch Bakery, but there is a bigger version of this with like other brands. But yeah, I would say this is like a medium size. So I'm gonna get the 6-inch out. So this one is Biscoff, whereas the other one was white chocolate raspberry. When's my birthday? It was on Thursday. It was the 18th. But obviously because it's a Thursday, I'm not really one to celebrate midweek. So I thought I'd have a get together on the weekend. Right. What colour is what? So, move this back a bit so you can see. What we're going to do with this is literally just dot it randomly. Obviously, the more of a colour you want, the more you need to put on in certain areas. So, like, I don't want brown to be a big part of it, so I'll put less brown on than the others. Happy birthday for Thursday. I hope you had a lovely day. Thank you. Yes, it was very, very good. I was working at the gym on Thursday and they pulled me into the gym and sang happy birthday to me. So that was interesting. I was blushing a lot. Right, so we're going to add some orange now. So what I aim to do with this is you want to have all the colours together at some point. So like make sure that there's touching colours. So like there's areas where I've got more cream or I've got more orange, for example. But if you ever see a cream bit, then you want it to be touching an orange bit. Because otherwise you just end up with massive spaces of one colour. So this is the best way to get like a tie-dye effect. So I'm then going to go in with a little bit of brown and a little bit of white, and then all the other gaps will be filled with the cream probably. I'm going to put more brown on the top here because that'll be hidden and it's a good way to use the buttercream. And then that will all be flattened out, of course. And then all the gaps I'm going to fill with white now, if I have enough, hopefully. I think it's starting, I don't know if it's starting to rain. Right, so that is completely covered and I'm very excited because it is looking very good. So, got a pot here for scraping off any excess. So I do one flat all the way round, scrape that off, then I flatten the top. Like so. Then I go back round the sides now that I've sorted the top out. And then now that that is basically done, what we want to do is fill in any gaps, and then we're going to go back in with the scallop scraper, which will then give you the nice scallop effect. So put a bit more brown in. So if there's any areas where it looks like there's too much of one colour, like the orange is taking over a bit, then just add in colours.
Then drop the spanner because they've got all this shit underneath Carl's in it. Nothing falls out the bottom. So I'll take the engine, got the engine tray off now.
Right, that is the front. So I'm just going to put some supports in it while it's a little bit softened. I would normally put more of these in, but because it's at home, I'm not worried about it because it's not going to be travelling anywhere. So I'm literally just going to put 3 in, but I would normally put about 5. And these are just jumbo straws. You can buy them on Amazon in like a massive pack of 100. But because of the way they work, you go like that and they don't want to crush. Obviously if you do it hard enough they will bend in half, but if they're in a cake then they can't bend. So then they act as really good supports. Does hurt your fingers after a while. What can I use? And then what you do is you get a palette knife and just dot some buttercream over those, and then your board, which your little cake is on, will then stick to that. So I'm going to pop that back in the fridge. So because I have to flip this, I can't have the rough ridge on the top because it's just going to get taken off as soon as I flip it to then swap boards. So I'm just going to cut this so that it's flat. Then we won't have any issues. So I'm just using a sharp knife. Depends on the day. Sometimes I will flatten it when it's wet with a palette knife. Sometimes I'll cut it off. Right, so decide where the front is, which is there. Then I need a mini board, which look like so. Then you need to make a hole in the middle. So I just get a knife. Don't try this at home because it's probably really dangerous. We have our hole, which what will happen is that middle skewer that's in the base, this will go over it, and then you'll have a skewer going into the top cake. You can just place it on there, but the issue is it might just fall off. Even though, again, it's not travelling, it's at home, like I don't want to risk it, because I do know that I'm going to be carrying it to get photos and stuff. So, we need a little bit of parchment paper. And what we're going to do is place that on the top like that so it doesn't get damaged. Then I need a board. Like so. Place that on there. And then what we need to do is flip this over. And then you have to score it. Which means that the buttercream won't crack, because if you don't score it, then as soon as you try and lift this off, you'll start getting cracks down the side because it's going to pull the rest of the cake. So you score it so that it just does along the top. And then you just try and get your knife in there so you don't lose too much cake. And then you just lose a little bit on the board, but it's not the end of the world. Take that off, get rid of any crumbs because they'll just ruin how stable it is. Then you're just going to get a palette knife and some buttercream. Pop that on there as if you're sticking your cake layers down when you're crumb coating. Then you will stick your little board in there. The reason I get these boards is, as you can see, it doesn't go right to the edge, doesn't cover where the buttercream covers, and that is because you don't want to see it. It's very hard to cover a board, so you want to make sure that you can avoid it being seen as much as possible. Push it down so that you don't have too much of a raised edge. And then what we are going to do is attempt to put it on the other cake. So I'm going to shove this back in the fridge for a second, just so that it can firm up a little bit, because I don't want it to be soft when I'm trying to flip it. So I just want it to be a little bit set so we're not moving around. Right, so we're going to give that a second. I'm just going to have a bit of a tidy up while we're waiting, move stuff that's in the way. Right. So that you know, in case you want to recreate the colours that I'm going to be using, these are the colourings that I used. So it is caramel, colour mill, chocolate and orange, and it's the autumn range, and I absolutely love them. So I had to get them. Also another colour which I used today, which is really nice, is this sage. I used it for a safari cake and it looks so cool. Right, little bit of a tidy up. We'll give that 5 minutes in the fridge just so that when I flip it, don't have a heart attack, because they do slip around. So you want to make sure that they are a little bit set at least. So we have some spare buttercream in here, which we'll be using for the smears. And we've also got some in piping bags, which is the like whole colour. And then that in the bowl is where I've scraped it off, so it's a bit of a mix. I'm going to show you the flowers that we're going to be using in a second. So, this is what we're going for. So there's a few sunflowers, there's a lot of orange, red, and then I've got these little orange ones, which I don't know if I'm going to use yet. And then I had some leftover bits of gold, so I'm going to be putting those on as well. But the main focus is the sunflowers. And then, but also because the sunflowers are so yellow, that's why I didn't add any yellow onto the cake. I just went for that caramelly colour so that it wasn't too in your face. So yes, I'm going to pop these over here. And then sprinkles wise, I've got some gold sprinkles, some white. I'm going to be putting some spray glitter on. These are the Cake Decor ones, I get them from the range. I want it to be very like gold and shiny. At the moment, the colours look quite bland, and the same happened with my last one when I did last year's, because the colours are obviously matte. But as soon as you add all the glitter and sprinkles and all that kind of stuff, then it kind of brings it all to life. So I'm quite excited. And we've got gold leaf as well, which will be going on it. And I'm going to splatter gold paint. So it's going to be a lot going on. Do we have... Oh, we do. These are the sprinkles that I'm going to be using. So I've got the gold, but these are the main ones. Which I bought these about 2 months ago, and I haven't used them because I bought them just because I like them. What brand are they? Doesn't actually say what brand they are. I think I got them on Amazon. I have quite a few like this. These are the same. These are also like the same brand, but yeah, I think you just get them on Amazon. They don't actually say what they are. Like it has all the details on the bottom, but it doesn't say what brand, and there's no sticker. So, but yeah, I think it's just mixed ones off Amazon. But I just think they're so pretty. They're all like autumn colours. So, very excited. Thank you, Janet. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it comes together. I don't actually know what's in these, so I'm going to try one. I think they're chocolate. Yeah, they are. Chocolate filling. So, I'm going to check that white cake just to see whether it is ready to be flipped. Wash my hands first. Right. The other cake is set enough to have it put on it, so we're just checking the white cake. Perfect. So doesn't have to be perfect because you shouldn't actually be holding the sides. You should be holding the base, flip it, and then I literally just drop it. You'll see what I mean in a second. It's very nerve-wracking. The other cake is set enough that we can put it on. So the way I judge this, as in like set enough, is I can go like that and nothing comes on my hand. Obviously you don't want to literally touch the sides of the cake, but you won't have to. So what we have to do, decide where the front is. Oh, that's nerve-wracking. And then, Sarah, can I borrow you for a second? I need you to hold this in the bottom board. Can you move it where the cross is in front of me? Stop. There we go. There we go. So push it down. Obviously, it's not that big of a deal if you make any mess because you can just touch it up. So I've got a slight finger mark, but I can just cover that up, so it's not a problem. That's why they're actually not as scary as they seem. I think people worry a lot about ruining it when you're stacking it, but yeah, you can just touch it up, so it's not too bad. And then the top, you just peel that off, and then it's fairly clean. Again, I'll just get a little knife and just give it a little touch up. Right, so this bit we're going to fill. So I don't know whether to. I might do a border because it's probably the easiest way to cover it. That's what I usually go for. Let me get a piping bag. So that is the front from where you can see. There we go. Ooh, so scary. Yeah, she's stuck. So I'm going to be using this nozzle. So it is the Finch Bakery 1E, and it looks like that just because it's really nice to do a border with. You'll see what I mean in a second because I don't actually know what it's called, but it's a bit like bob and weave, like where you weave fabric, but rather than weaving across, it's kind of just in a straight line. But it's the one that I use most commonly for borders just because it looks so nice. So we're just going to take from the mixed bowl because it's literally just to cover. Turn the light on so that you can actually see a bit better. It looks so much more yellow in the light now. Right, so when I mean weave, this is what I mean. So it looks like that. So you drag it back, then down. Most bakers will probably know how to do this, but for the beginners, that's how you do it. Right, now we need to do the smears. So I won't be able to see the chat for a minute because I'm working from an image I found. So Do you think it would be a problem for this hygiene rating person if the entrance to the toilet is straight from my kitchen? No, I don't think that's an issue. Then I don't think they're that worried about that. It's actually, yeah, their requirements are a lot less than people think. It's mainly your paperwork that they're worried about, opposed to your actual area. As long as your area is clean, then that's kind of the main thing. I don't know which way to put the front. I think it's going to be there. Okay. So, what do I need to do? I need to start putting the flowers on because otherwise I can't tell which way round it's going. Ah, and gold leaf. I knew I was missing something. The gold leaf needs to go on. What size cakes are these? This is a 4-inch, this is a 6-inch. The eggs vary on the recipe, so it depends what flavour and stuff they are, but usually it's around 8 and 4, depending on what flavour. Right. I love these so much. So we've got, I'm going to try and avoid the greens too much, but we've got some autumn coloured leaves, so they're like yellow. So we're going to pick more of those off. I'm going to try and include these berries as well. Thank you, Coco. Just realised one of my cake collections is late, so she might be at the door in a second, but I think my mum will be able to hand it over. Almost done. Right. I think we might be done, guys. I'm absolutely obsessed with this. Will that fit in there? No. Right, guys, we're all done. Hi, Jilly. Only just managed to find a window of time to watch. Can't stay as I'm in between bridal fittings, but excited to watch the full video later. Thank you. Yeah, we're just finishing, so you're not going to miss any more. But yeah, this is the finished cake. It is so heavy. I need to get this in the fridge ASAP so that it can set. So heavy. Right. That is what it looks like. Hopefully this one will fit back in the fridge. Right, I'm going to have a little move around in my fridge because these cakes need to fit in there. So I'm going to love you and leave you because I don't know how long this is going to take. But thank you all for watching. I hope that you loved making this cake as much as me. I did think, I'll be honest, when I was making it, I did think for a second, was this a bad idea? Is this going to look terrible? But I'm absolutely in love with it. So I'm very, very pleased. But yeah, I thought it was going to go badly. When I did the base coat of that scalloped edge, I was like, oh, is this going to look bad? And then, yeah, it turned out good in the end. So that's the main thing. So beautifully autumnal. That is exactly what I was going for. Like, I don't know why, but at the moment, I'm like obsessed with autumn colours. Like oranges, yellows, like forest green. Like, I love it. So I was like, right, I need to make my cake like that. I also need to curl my hair and I've got 20 minutes to spare. So we actually did good for time. I'm going to just shove everything in a corner and then wash it up later, like pile it up in my workspace and then kind of make it look tidy and like wipe everything down, but just like get it out the way so that I can actually get ready, because I do not want to leave my hair like this. But yeah, you will be seeing lots and lots of photos of it later. I will be getting photos of me holding it, hopefully outside if it doesn't rain. But yeah, so there's going to be lots of photos, so I'll post them on my Instagram later. But yeah, absolutely loved making it. Thank you guys for watching. How much would you charge for a cake like this? Always good to know. So 2-tier cakes are from a 4 and a 6 inch would be what is that off the top of my head? 50 plus 60, which is 110. Then the flowers were about £15, so it's from 125, but that's my old pricing. My new pricing is about £5 to £10 more per cake, because obviously everything's gone up, so I'm redoing my pricing. So it would probably, I think the one I did this morning, which was an under the sea theme cake, that one was 140, but that had some fondant work on it. Again, you'll see that later. It's amazing. Like, the cakes that I've done today are amazing. Like, I'm not even blowing my own trumpet. They look so good. But yeah, so that 2-tier went, and the party was at 12 and it went at 10 a.m. So I'm assuming they made it home all right and it didn't like fall over or anything, because I haven't had a message. So yes, very, very excited to see photos from those parties. But yeah, if you don't already, follow me on Instagram. It's sweetthingsbyamy, because that's where I post all my cake photos. So there'll be 5 or 6 cakes going up this weekend because I'm a bit behind. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all later. There will be another video going up on Sunday, a common questions one, because I get so many questions in the comments which are repeated, which I absolutely don't mind, but I thought I'd make it easier for you guys and do a video of the most commonly asked ones, just to cover them all at the same time. And then now that my birthday week is out the way, because it has been stressful as hell, there will be a video on Sunday, and then there's also going to be a video next week. But yeah, this week I just haven't had time. Anyway, I will actually leave now rather than keep rambling on. So like I say, hope you enjoyed, and I'm going to go and get ready. Bye!